Hey guys, how's it going? This video is going to be a little bit different than my typical videos. It's probably the YouTubiest video that you're going to get from me, and I will be swiveling around in my little creaky chair that you may have heard in videos before. So, just a quick update. I am working very hard, very hard on my new Big Penguin series, which is going to be about the length of the Oilers videos. Also, I'm writing a couple other things. I still owe you guys a Most Hated for the Flames and a bunch of other teams. And I'm currently writing a recap of the 2020 playoffs. I think that would be fun to look back on because it's very weird and very strange. So, today I'm doing a little bit of an easier video for me to make just to remind everyone that I am alive. And today we're going to talk about the Guardian Project. Now, most of you guys are probably about my age. I'm 26 years old. So when the Guardian Project came out in 2011, I'd have been 12. Perfect timing for me as a child to have my favorite hockey team turned into a bunch of superheroes. I guess I should probably explain the whole situation. So the NHL went to Stan Lee to ask him and his associates, I guess, to make a bunch of superheroes, one for each of the 30 NHL teams. And these heroes would be revealed at the All-Star Game. Now, this is very cool for me as a child. I'm very excited. I think very highly of this kind of thing. I really like Marvel Comics. I especially did as a child. I feel like I am a at least minor authority on both of these fields, both hockey and comic books. Today, what I am going to do is go through our 30 Guardian Project heroes and rank them from best to worst. I'll put them in a little list. So the story behind the Guardian Project in canon, the Guardian Project canon, is that a child who was 15 years old drew them, and they came to life because he was being threatened by Darren Dark, I think is the bad guy's name. He looks like Megatron or Darth Vader. He's about as generic as you can get. Now, I cannot read the comics. I can't find them anywhere. If you can find them, please send them to me. I will read them. The NHL revealed these heroes through a voting process, and through this voting process, people would vote on, I would like to see this team next. So we are going to go through in the order of the way they were voted. So it's as if we were there. It's as if we were there back in 2011 on Facebook or YouTube or NHL.com or NHL.com. If you go on NHL.com, it's like you're in 2011 all over again. You ever try and use that stupid website? It's going to be as if we're back in 2011 all over again. So to start off, my favorite team and yours, the Pittsburgh Penguins. So the first thing that you'll notice with the Penguin is that's Cyclops with Iceman powers. He apparently has super maneuverability because of his little cape guy. Maybe he can glide or something. The thing I like the most about the outfit is the little macaroni penguin wings around his eyes. I think those are very silly. It's a decent enough design, but it's because it works really good with Cyclops, a guy who already exists. I don't hate the Penguin. I think he's fine. Next up, we have the Hurricane. I really like the Hurricane. I think his design is very good because I feel like they put a little bit of extra love in him. The All-Star Game was in Carolina. The Jeff Skinner All-Star Game, he was there. I think the little red ponytail is neat. I think his powers are fairly cool, if not extremely unique, but he spins around. One of his powers listed is environmental empathy, which is funny. He's cool. I think he probably has the best design, honestly, maybe out of anybody. So shout out to the Hurricane. He is going above the Penguins, and he's going to be tough to beat. Next up, we have the King from LA. I generally like his whole get-up. I'm a sucker for night-themed things, though it would make more sense for him to be the knight. But, you know, he's got the purple on. Purple's the color of royalty. His shield makes force fields. That makes sense to me. And his sword causes earthquakes. I hope everybody's okay. The King's a little bit better than the Penguin in terms of originality, so I'm going to put him in the middle. Any guesses what the Blackhawk can control? Any guesses the element he can control? That's right. It's wind. He can control the wind because he's from the Windy City. He's like a little helicopter guy, like a Blackhawk helicopter, and he can control the wind. How about that? The Blackhawk is okay. I think the helicopter blades are stupid. So he is going to be down below the Penguin. I'm sorry. I make the rules. I don't like the Saber very much. He's a hydroelectric dam. That's his gimmick, is that he's a hydroelectric dam. Why isn't he a sword fighter? His name is the Saber. I understand that he has a sword, but he uses his magical powers to control water and electricity, which I do think is novel. I think that's a decent power combination, but I think his design is bad. He looks like bad Mr. Freeze with a sword made of water and or ice. I don't like him very much. I think he's ugly. He's going below the Blackhawk. I think the drawing of the Flyer is extremely sick. He looks very cool. I understand that he's not the most original guy. He has wings. He's a guy with wings. But he's a guy with wings with telekinesis. I think the Flyer is very cool. I think his 3D model is not so great, but I do think overall he is pretty sick looking. I'm going to put the Flyer right underneath the Hurricane. It's here with the Oiler that I realized by elemental empathy, they mean controlling the elements. That feels like a weird way to say that, but whatever. With the Oiler, his description reads that he controls wintry, weathery patterns. He can't possibly be good for the environment. He shoots oil. Theoretically, he has an energy cannon too. Maybe he can light the oil on fire. It's oil, man. Like, might as well put a big Exxon logo across his head. The Oiler is very ugly. The Oiler's powers are stupid. I understand he's a roughneck or whatever. He's going at the bottom of the list for now. Because he's based on something, the Devil, not to be confused with literal Satan, also known as the Devil, is pretty cool. He looks like the Jersey Devil. I think that's neat. He's kind of like a mule. He spits fire. He flies. These are all good things. These are things that I like. I don't think he's particularly original. Somebody in the comments of his 3D render video said that his double D knockers provided him with fire resistance. I don't have a problem with the Devil. Hold on now. I am putting the Devil beneath the King. Listen, the Flame may be a little generic. I understand. But these things are classic for a reason. He looks very good. I like his little trim around his wrists. He throws fire. He can make fire wings, like literal wings out of fire. I like that a lot. I think that's very cool. He can make horses out of fire, a flame stampede. That is sick and also ties into Calgary pretty well. I think the Flame is great. I understand that he's generic. I get it. But I am going to put him between the Hurricane and the Flyer. I think the Wild is utterly insane, and I really like him. He shoots star beams, celestial beams out of his hands. He looks like a crazy person. He finally answers the question of what the Wild's logo is supposed to be. He is maybe the most out-of-the-box guy here. I think his little glasses are kind of silly, but they fit with his like kind of space bear theme. I like that. I'm not entirely sure why he's wearing a sleeveless shirt with the sleeves torn off. I don't like that as much. But I think he goes up pretty high. Let's put him right above the Flyer and right below the Flame. I know that I just got done praising the Flame for all that he is, and the Lightning is very similar to the Flame, and I don't like him as much. His powers aren't quite as inventive. He slides on an electric surfboard kind of thing. I like his big blue electric mohawk. That's fun. But there's so many people with glasses, the little like lenses. Enough of that. I've seen enough. I like the Lightning trim, but he is too generic even for my relatively generic taste. I'm going to put the Lightning below the Devil. The Predator answers the question, what if the Wild looked a little stupider, had worse powers, and for some reason was wearing like a wrestling singlet? I don't hate the Predator. I do think it's kind of weird to have a superhero called the Predator. It seems like something you'd name a bad guy. He's cool. He's big. I don't have much to say about him. He has an atomic blast, apparently. That doesn't really fit his whole vibe. I'm going to put the Predator below the Penguin. I don't know how to feel about the Shark. Part of me really likes the Shark. I think he is so strange and off the wall that he's cool, but he's also very strange. He has spider senses underwater. That's cool. He has a mental powers over both electronics and sea life. He's very powerful. I think if I was power scaling all of this, he would be up toward the top. Shout out to the Shark. He's also, I believe, a tech millionaire because he's from Silicon Valley. So he's probably not a nice guy. I don't know. I like his head. I'm going to put the Shark above the Devil and below whoever I have above the Devil. So they're making a superhero for the Bruins, and they said, what if he's a bear? What if he's just a big bear? But also, because he's from Boston, he's really smart. He's a really smart bear. Don't show me any pictures of Beast. This guy is a bear. He's not blue. I'm putting the Bruin below the Penguin. So I said how the Shark was very powerful. The Canuck is not. He looks a lot like the Shark. He's aquatic like the Shark. But his main power is his big sonic blast. That's fine. And his control over rain. You would say, oh, over storms, you mean? Over lightning or thunder? No. Over the ocean, then. So he has power over the waves. No. He has power over rain. He can make it rain really hard. If the villain is having a picnic, he can ruin it. He can ruin his picnic. The Canuck also looks kind of bad. I don't think he looks very good. I am putting him down in Predator territory. I'm putting him below the Predator. The Canadian looks like Optimus Prime. Also, all of the original 6 teams get a little 6 on their shoulder. That doesn't seem fair. Why do they get a special marker? Might as well give them the Captain's C, too. The Canadian has General Iron Man powers, but he can also absorb things. He can absorb people's powers and magnify them. I'm not really sure how that works in practice, because he's in a big metal suit, so it's not like he's rogue. I don't hate the Canadian, but I do think he's worse than the Penguin. The Penguin's really I'm trying to put the Penguin at 15. I'm coming back and changing my opinion on the Black Hawk. Because he's kind of original, and he has the little helicopter blades that I don't really like, but I at least now admire because they're trying to do something. I'm going to put the Black Hawk where I put the Canadian, and the Canadian where I put the Black Hawk. I'll change it on the screen or something. Woo! The Capital stinks. He looks bad. He looks bad. His powers are stupid. He's a big bird. He's a big bird. I understand. I gave the flyer. I let the flyer be very high, and he's just a guy with wings. Big bird with wings, non-starter for me. Put him away. It looks like he's about to do a routine on the high bar. Big sonic scream for the eagle guy? Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed he'd have a big sonic scream? The Capital does nothing for me. His colors are very garish. I understand it's the team colors. I get it. But a red, white, and blue eagle, you're kind of beating me over the head with it. The Capital's going below the Canadian, but I have to make clear that there is a very large gap between the two. Next, we have the Detroit Red Wing. It's the wheels. It's the wheels that really ruin the whole thing for me. It makes him look like a transformer. I understand he's a jet. I understand he is also a car. I don't know how any of this would work in practice. Does he fire the jet engine and then also drive around on his little feet like a car? He doesn't look very good. He kind of looks like a Gundam. That's cool for Gundams, but is it cool for the NHL-themed superhero, the Red Wing? I don't think it is. The Red Wing's going in Canadian territory, but closer to the Canadian than the Capital. The Blue Jacket is cool if I use my head cannon. So in my mind, he is a Union soldier that is brought back to life. A zombified Union soldier. I'm not really sure that's what they were going for, but for me, that is what he is. I like the idea of a guy being born in 1843 with the sheer goal of blowing up the Rebs with giant guns that are on his back. He also has the power of banishment. To where? Is that where all the ghosts at Gettysburg came from? The Blue Jacket was going through Devil's Den and trapping their souls there forever. Gettysburg humor. for fellow central Pennsylvanians out there. The Blue Jacket's kind of neat. He can go under the devil. I guess I'm a sucker for space powers because I like the Star. I think his suit is cool. He does the mohawk thing very tastefully with the little spikes on his head. And he controls solar wind. I feel like that's a neat power to have. I don't know the practicality of it, but I think it's a neat power to have. He can fly. He can make your cell phone not work. So shout out to the Star. I'm putting him below the Flyer. The Coyote's got to be a joke, right? He's Wolverine. He looks exactly like Wolverine, but with a coat. He's Wolverine if he was a little chilly. He controls the sand. He's Gaara from Naruto and Wolverine and a little chilly. The Coyote does nothing for me. He's better than the Capitol, but just barely. Mr. Avalanche really got his face messed up when they did the 3D render. I think generally he's fine. He's very Mr. Freeze-y. I think he leans down toward the guys I don't like that much. I think controlling rock kind of helps him. He can control oxygen, I guess, too, and ice. He can control ice. I don't know. This may be the guy I'm the most neutral on. I don't care about him. I don't care. Let's say he's better than the Predator. The moment many of you have been waiting for. The man who throws the sap bombs. It's the Maple Leaf. He can talk to plants. He can regenerate. He's in blue. I don't know. I don't like the fact that he's brown. Make him a little greener. Or do like a fall foliage thing. Do like a changing color leaf. How about that? I don't know. I think the sap bomb thing is pretty bad. It's pretty disqualifying. The Leaf probably belongs down with the other big guys that I don't like that much, the Bruin and the Predator. Let's put him below the Bruin, because then he's better than the last guy we looked at. The Senator is bargain bin Thor. He's Thor, but with the Roman pantheon instead of the Norse pantheon. He's half man, half god, apparently. I'd like to know which god, maybe Mars. He has telekinetic powers also. The problem for me is he doesn't look like a superhero at all. He is just a guy in a centurion's outfit. The king at least kind of looks like a superhero. This guy is just a legionary. He's a centurion. That's cool. But it's not very superhero-y. Let's put him below the Lightning. I understand I just got mad at Stan for ripping off one of his properties with the Coyote. I understand that. But I like the Panther. I think he's kind of cool. I think the added ability of being able to control darkness is cool. Like light refraction kind of thing. His big cape helps him not be a complete carbon copy of Black Panther. But I mean, his name is the Panther. There's only so many Panther directions you can go. He's not spectacular. I understand. He's better than the Penguin. He's worse than... No, he's better than the Senator, too. He's better than the Senator. He's better than the Lightning. I'm laying down the law. I'm putting him above the Lightning. Boy, I remember being disappointed by the Ranger. He's a guy on a motorcycle. He's Captain America on a flying motorcycle. The Ranger's shield that normally is their logo does not look very good as an actual shield, which I didn't know until I saw the Ranger with it. He has sleep vision. Also, he's a police officer? These guys are superheroes. They're not police officers. I understand New York police officers is a big thing. Hey, I'm on my motorcycle getting a freaking bagel over here. Hey. And they don't even call it a motorcycle. They call it a hover horse. That's dumb. The Flame would make his own horse. He's slightly better than the Canadian. I love the Duck. He looks sick. His hair is out the back of his helmet like a hockey player, but also like a surfer. He's a surfer bro. I understand that his backstory is that he's a trust fund kid, so innately I should not like him as much. But he's cool. He's very smart. He rides a surfboard. As far as the aquatic guys, he's killing it. I would put the Duck as my number one above the Hurricane. I think his weaponry is cool. I think his face mask, being a duck, as silly as being a duck superhero could theoretically be, and I would know, I've watched the Mighty Ducks TV show. He pulls it off, man. He's cool. I like the duck. The blue is insanely cool looking. I understand that he's just kind of like a black blob in a trench coat, but he is very cool. He's got like the blue Hades from the Disney Hercules hair going on. I like that. The thing that hurts the blue, the thing that keeps him from maybe being my number one, I love his dissolving, teleporting. He can mind control, but it has a reason he can mind control because he has sound, is the fact that in the Guardian Project video, he has a saxophone. Why does he have a saxophone? I understand. I get it. I get that's part of the whole blues thing. But come on, man. Even the thing on the blues shoulder, even their shoulder patch is a trumpet. Why does this guy have a saxophone? Is he like snake charming people with the saxophone? Are they doing this? Come on. You had so much. I had so much hope for you. I'm putting him below the Flame. Well, after 2 great ones in a row, we have the Islander. Why does he have a grappling hook? Is it an anchor? Is that the deal? Is the deal that it's an anchor? I don't know, man. I like that he has a little bit of chainmail, but he also has a football helmet, so he's kind of a Mad Max type character. He has super strength, which, great, cool, and he controls the water, which between the controlling the water and controlling the ice people, that's like a third of our crew here. He's not very good. I don't like looking at him very much. And he looks really stupid in the big video with all of them. Everybody's like flying up or showing up in a cool way, and he's like, hold on, guys. I gotta get the grappling hook going here. I don't like it very much. I don't like that very much. I think he's better than the Capitol, though. The Thrashers aren't dead yet, folks. But nobody voted for their Guardian to be revealed, so he was last. He's got stealth technology. He's another guy who's a plane, but he does the being a plane thing better than the other guys who are a plane. Kind of a look into the future, making the Thrasher guy a literal jet. Seems kind of cruel. I don't know. He can control the wind. They don't all have to control elements. I don't hate him. I don't mind him either way. In the 3D render, you can't really see his face, but in the 2D drawing, you can. Generally, I like the 2D drawings more. The 3D renders don't look very good. I'm going to put the Thrasher below the Lightning. So that is everybody here from the Guardian Project, a project that greatly damaged the financial stability of the company that made the 3D renders. Apparently, NBC spent a bunch of money to make Guardian Project shows and movies. They didn't do any of that. I want the Guardians to come back. I like them. Most of them stink. Like, probably 2/3 of them, I would go, yeah, at. I can tell that because I put the Senator in the top half. I don't like him at all. I don't think he's very good. It wasn't perfect. In fact, in many cases, it was kind of bad. Apparently, the reason NBC couldn't make the shows is because they said, can we just focus on 4 of them? And the NHL said, no, you have to do all 30, which is the most NHL thing possible. Being like, well, no, you can't hurt any of our precious team's feelings. Why not just do an original 6 show with the original 6 guys? They're all unique. Most of the original 6 ones are pretty bad. But at least then you could have done something with like a little superhero team. And you could have had like other superhero teams in other regions. I don't know. These are my ideas, NHL. 13 years too late. The Guardian Project was obviously a massive failure for the NHL and Stan Lee and NBC and the company that made the renders. There's no real caveat on that. It just was a massive failure. But NHL, hear me now. Hear me reach out to you, Gary Bettman, watching my video. Bill Daly, if you can see me now, I request that the Guardian Project come back. I request that it come back today. I'm going to put the list here up on the screen. It's here beside me. You see it? You see the list? Let me know if you disagree with any of them. Let me know if I have dissed your favorite superhero, the one that you've been waiting all these years to have return. Waiting with bated breath, praying every night. Please, Red Wing, Please, Red Wing, come back to us. Please, I need to see your little wheels on your feet. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. A little bit of a different video here from me. This is a little bit easier for me to make because I don't have to write up a big script. If you guys like this kind of thing, I'll keep doing it. If you don't, I probably won't. So just let me know. Support me by watching the video or sharing it or leaving a comment saying that I am nice and I did a good job. Thank you guys for watching, as always. I'm very thankful that I have people to listen to me ramble about a superhero franchise that existed for 3 months and went defunct 13 years ago. Thanks, guys. See you soon.